It's Monday. It's morning.
And it's the year one finale kickoff macabre special.
Fireworks, explosions.
I don't know how it's a finale and a kickoff, but that's what came out. So.
It's okay. We're kicking off the finale by ending it right, baby. So welcome to the Halloween year one Monday Morning Macabre special.
It's fucking choice, kid. It's boss.
It's going to be the most boss thing you ever heard, kid.
Fucking rules.
No Margassia Power is coming to my place. He's going to make some spinach and garlic, and it's going to be fucking the tits, kid. And not Tavern in the Square, if you know what I fucking mean.
We had one fan say they like that accent, and we're fucking running with it.
Yeah. Speaking of one person who likes the accent, I have to make sure I get this out of the way.
Oh, definitely.
CCMM on Podbean. If you're out there, I need you to hear this. I have remorse in my heart. I can't reach you. It's like when a person like goes to another country and meets like the love of their life, and they don't like speak the same language, but they like really connect, and then they make a post on like,
and then the love of their
internet.
life dies from tuberculosis, so you reanimate them using wires
and then
Fabergé.
you dance with them in a plane. We'll get to that later. It's not the point. What the point is, CCMM on Podbean, you left a comment talking about how our accents were authentic and that you appreciated that, and I went to respond to this comment. And on Podbean, the delete button is right beneath the reply button. And I guess which one I chose. And it doesn't give you a confirmation pop-up. So Podbean, if you're out there, maybe add that. But so I literally, you wrote this nice little message, and I just fucking killed it. And I need you to know that I tried to respond. So if you're ever in the North End, let's get a Sam Adams kid.
This is like an apology, like we got canceled.
Yeah. It's not who I am. Okay,
like Darcy.
It's not what Monday Morning Macabre is about. And
it's like we got caught with a bunch of like heroin. Like,
guys, this episode is all about you, the listeners. It's all about
you, girl.
Your favorite
on your 16th
It's all
birthday.
about you, Pearl. It's all about you, girl. It's all about your favorite episodes of this first season. We are going to be counting down the top 7 episodes for you today.
Why top 7, Darce?
Top 7 because a lot of people want top 5. A lot of people want top 3. People go top 10. But how many people are going top 7? And we went top 7 because 666 rounded up 7.
Bam.
That's my reasoning.
I had to set you up for that because I liked it so much.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Now, because this is an episode all about the listeners, I do want to make shout out to the Patreon listeners.
Ooh,
and
go down one by one.
We're gonna run through the list of them real quick, just for that extra. Hey,
these are the first ballot Hall of Famers.
Yeah, this is the All Pro Macabre team of season 1. So shout out to you, Steve Abbott, bruh. Thank you so much,
Stevie boy.
Stevie boy. He was spooked by the Numbers Station episode. Ooh. Understandably so, because that is a creepy child like whispering in your ear.
It's also fucking real. Like, it's fucking real.
And it could just end the world. So that's crazy. Jessica Courier or Courier. I don't know if it's like a French last name, but you're a sweetheart. Thank you so much.
Yes.
We really appreciate your message. That was really sweet.
Yeah, that made my fucking day.
Skelectra, classic.
One of the OGs.
OG listener. We got Barry Leadham. The young Leedy Bears is what he probably goes by. I don't know this for sure, but I'm assuming he does.
Don't sleep on Barry Leeds, dude.
Casey Billings, shout out to you. One of the first comments ever left was about you listening to the Mothman episode, so we appreciate that.
Casey.
Tara, Michelle Castrasana. Ooh. Thank you, Tara, and for your extra credit work of providing us with pronunciations for the episode you recommended.
Yeah, that's in the pipeline.
It's in the pipeline. It's in the works. Lottie Van Boxtel.
Lottie.
One of the...
That's
probably
sweet...
the coolest
yeah,
name on
that's
this
a
list,
fucking
honestly.
sick name.
So good for you. Jojo Wellborn, the classic.
Jojo.
You enjoy being Malibu Barbie tonight. I hope it goes well.
I think like her sister also is like a fan, part of that Patreon account.
JoJo's going as Malibu Barbie, and her sister's going as the Barbie car. So it's going to be a really
Is that true?
Double costume. No.
Oh, that'd be so sick. You know, like those, you ever see those kids with like the Transformers costumes that like when they like kneel down, it's like a fucking car? I was hoping for that.
Yep. Ryan Benson. So many suggestions from you.
Long time listener,
author.
long time caller, one of the OGs as well.
Dakota Riggs. It's a full moon, I believe, so Dakota is the name he's going to be going by, so shout out to you,
Don't
Dakota.
call him Lucas. I swear to God, if you call him Lucas, I swear to God.
And then we got Trevor J. Shout out to you, always on Twitter with the likes and the retweets.
We love it.
And Andrew Wright, also a young Twitter follower. I don't know why I said young.
That young.
I don't know your age.
Not Andrew
but
wrong.
Hey, thank you guys. Just wanted to get that in there as a thank you to you guys, the Patreon listeners, for supporting the show.
The all-star
Thank you
team.
to everyone who's listening out there. If I had a list of your names, I would keep saying all of them, but I don't think we would have the ability or time. But we do want to thank you so much, guys, for listening to the show. It means a lot to us, and it's crazy that anybody is listening. We did not expect anyone to really give a shoot.
Especially, we've had an awesome group of people, like international, obviously we're from the States, but
yeah,
we have people from Greece,
awesome Australian accents,
Greece, India, like Ireland, Sweden. It's been amazing.
Sweden, Ireland, it's all of those places. So, without further ado, why don't we get into that good content that you are here for?
Yes, that's why
Your
I'm
top
here.
7 episodes of the year.
Let's go 2020. What a year it's been.
If you lay here,
If I just lay here.
would you lie with me and count down the top 7 episodes? All right. Number 7 episode of 2019 to 20 of season 1, I guess.
Number 7.
Number 7.
No, number 7.
Our number 7 episode of the first season, as voted by you, our listeners, is season 1, episode 20, Laveau and LaLaurie. Bum, 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 bum.
Bum, 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 bum. The Big Easy, baby.
The Big Easy, New Orleans. The episode...
I am excited to talk about this one because I just rewatched season 1 of True Detective. If anyone's seen that, it's like one of the best seasons of any TV ever.
Yeah, and then season 2 is one of the worst things I've seen in a long time.
Yeah. But basically season 1's Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson, and they're like looking for creepy cult stuff. It's basically me and Darcy.
It's basically me and Sconez, but set in Louisiana.
In 1995.
Did you know? Okay, fun fact. I'm always full of fun facts.
Ooh, hit me with it.
Louisiana's state bird, it's the banjo. Did you know that? Fun fact.
Their state flower is actually just LSU head coach, Coach O.
Yep.
Go Tigers.
Oh, anyway. Enough joking around. This is a serious show.
This was a suggestion, I believe, by Skelectra, right?
I think it was. It sounds right. I'm pretty sure it was.
We're going to roll with that. If it wasn't, sorry.
If
and
it wasn't
welcome.
and you suggested it, hey, we're not perfect. We're
so far from it.
Human.
I love the jams you're throwing, like the early 2000s, like.
Yeah, I was just at a coffee shop and that's all they played.
That actually tracks.
It was definitely just coffee shop chill playlist.
Getting fucking garlic bagels, dude.
Yeah, get a spinach and garlic, kid. This episode had a fan favorite bit, which is the Popeyes jingle.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Love that chicken from Popeyes. People seem to really enjoy it. The Amazon drone flying into the bed in the middle of the night. Re-listening to this to put out the highlights made me laugh a few times. So I hope you guys enjoy this little clip of
the highlights, dude.
Highlights of season 1, episode 20, Laveau and LaLaurie. Welcome to Monday Morning Macabre with Sconez and Darcy. We're back. We just flew back from Yekaterinburg.
Beautiful this
time of year. And boy, are our arms tired. Just laugh track for... Yeah!
Just let it simmer. Keep going the laugh track.
Yeah.
Keep going. Keep the laugh track on for too long.
This is first episode...
Now cut the laugh track. If you actually edit that in, that would be amazing.
We'll consider it.
So this one is a shout out from our listener, Skelectra _9119.
Hey, shout out to Skelectra. Send in a suggestion, and look what happens.
Skelectra. Yeah, she recommended New Orleans, do a lot of research, and a couple of women from New Orleans. One, not so scary, but a lot of mystery behind her. And one, yikes. Big fucking yikes. So, the big easy. Darce, what do you know about New Orleans?
What do I know about New Orleans? I know crawdads.
Yes.
I know
beignets.
Crawdads. That's it. That's about it.
Mardi Gras? No.
Doesn't ring a bell. Beignets and crawdads, though. Those are top tier Louisiana style. Oh, I know Popeye's seafood restaurant chain. Free ads. That's actually $400 going into our checking right now.
Yeah, actually, it's just in chicken sandwiches.
I'm gonna just
sacks of chicken sandwiches in the
they
vault.
just airdrop chicken sandwiches using an Amazon drone. Just breaks into your house in the middle of the night and goes, "This is for you. Don't tell anybody."
Just love that chicken Popeyes, and then it puts it next to our pillow.
Yep.
I was like, "Wow, that's Louisiana fast." Marie grew up and married a man when she was very young.
How young we talking?
She was like in her teens. She, the guy's name was John Paris.
John Paris, Marie Laveau. Yeah, these are some real French. Yeah.
Suddenly went missing in 1824.
Ooh, MIA. This is a classic.
Yeah, a lot of people say that he left her. He was like, "See ya, I got swamps to go look at."
Yeah, I got beignets to meet up with. Wait, is this...
like we said, we've never been to New Orleans.
Yeah, this is all we know. A crawdad told her to go to a swamp and eat a beignet.
And then she played banjo with an alligator. She found love again with Louis Christophe Dumansnil de Glapion.
Wow, that was... I mean...
It just kept going.
The way you've said the other names have been skeptical, but that one was 100%.
You're skeptical?
What?
That this one was it? I'll do it again. No. Louis on Christophe Dumansnil.
No, what I'm saying is, I think you nailed that one.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, the second time was even better than the first.
So they got down and dirty and had 15 children in rapid succession. Like, they were like, "Oh, what? We're Catholic? Bam, 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 bam. We need as many kids as possible right now." We're going to talk about the LaLaurie Mansion.
LaLaurie Mansion in West Philadelphia.
Born and raised in New Orleans.
Where I spend most of my days
LaLaurie.
Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool and all, shooting some gree bags out of the school. I'll edit that.
That was better than I thought.
That's for myself later. Anyway.
Once the fire went out, firemen started to dig through the rubble, and actually the stairs were still intact, and they went upstairs. The smell was wretched.
No.
While the LaLauries never truly admitted it, reports say that when they opened the uppermost room, what they found was a horror show. They found slaves, some alive, some not.
Wait, this is a different room from the...
Yeah, so that's the slave quarters was where they were getting tortured.
Oh, Jesus.
The uppermost room is a whole nother fucking level.
Shit.
They open the door and find, like, people all over the place.
Jesus.
Some with mouths sewn shut.
Oh.
Others had body parts that were torn off of their bodies and sewn onto other parts of their bodies.
Fucked up. Are they all dead? Are these guys dead? Or are these
was
people
actually called, they call it a spider woman or a crab woman because she had extra limbs sewed on, and some of her bones were broken and reset to bend in weird ways.
Is she alive?
It does not say.
I hope to God she's not. That is.
They also found another man stuck to the wall with his face dissected and his entire head nailed to the wall.
What the fuck, dude?
Another man with his genitals removed and sexual reassignment surgery underwent.
That's so fucked up. Wow.
So while a lot of them, or some of them were alive at the time they opened it, there were flies everywhere and none of them would actually survive.
Yeah, good. Oh my, I hope. Rescued. That's super, dude. That is, that's not as fun as Popeye's fried shrimps.
Yeah. That's not Louisiana Fest.
The new Popeye's Spider Woman special, Crab Lady.
Oh my God.
And we're back. To you, it was about 8 minutes. To us, it was only 5 seconds.
We exist
time
outside
is fleeting.
of time.
Time is a flat circle. Am I right? Shout out to True
I was going to
Detective.
say, there you go. I'm like ripping open fucking Lone Star beers and just talking about shit like that.
Yeah, you're also like seeing a bunch of crazy wild... Aren't you doing like a bunch of drugs, if I remember correctly? I don't remember.
Oh,
You
yeah,
were
tons of
fucked
peyote.
up.
Nope, not peyote. It was Quaaludes. Either way.
What an episode.
What a fucking
wild
EpiPen, dude.
Spider women? Spider/crab ladies?
Okay, yeah. I have to say, in an episode that may or may not be on this list, I won't give any spoilers, but we recently had an episode about Carl Tanzler, who's an asshole. And there was a statement. There was a statement said, "This is definitely the worst guy that we've talked about." And then I remembered the Lalauries, and I was like, "Whoa,
that's pretty
They're
bad."
the fucking worst
Yeah.
we've ever talked about.
It's definitely it's two incredibly macabre things. Just kind of veer in different macabre directions.
Yeah, Laveau was a badass bitch, though. She was cool.
She was. Anyone going for Halloween as Madame Laveau, let me know,
That'd be a
because
sick
I'll toss you a
costume.
gree bag.
The gree bags, dude. Dude, I would want a gree bag.
Yeah, we should change Halloween to be gree bag
To
day.
be full New Orleans voodoo.
Is this something?
I don't know. We can keep picking
by
at
the
it,
way,
though.
I can't believe we haven't said it yet, but happy Halloween.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah. Mary Samhain.
Merry Crumbus. Happy Halloweenbus.
And if you're in Mexico, you got 2 sweet days till that Dia de los Muertos.
Yes. Get some papel picado, the paper of the dead.
But yeah, Laveau, very cool woman. I was excited to learn about her and that, like, she was mysterious and macabre, but at the end of it, I wasn't like, well, I wish she died.
Right. She's actually like a badass, like cool, actual person you could be like, hey, that's not a shithead like every other person we talk.
Yeah, and the influence that you kind of realize that she had over like pop culture with like voodoo in Louisiana is like pretty huge. Even though a lot of what we probably see is exaggerated and stereotyped, but still, it's everywhere. So it's pretty true.
Yeah, so shout out to you. Madame Laveau, if you want to come on the pod.
Yeah, bring your snake zombie. Regardless or not if there's an E at the end.
Yes, and someone's going to write in and be like, you know she's dead, right? And I'm going to be like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Actually, speaking of dead, Sean Connery died today.
Yeah, big rip.
Big rip.
Big rip. He was one of those guys that like...
Number 6.
This isn't a Sean Connery podcast. Number 6.
This is so such a weird tangent. But so that's sad. All right, back to the show.
That's how we roll. Number 6. Number 6.
Number 6.
Number 6. Number 6.
Number 6.
Hey, Mom, what number we on?
Hey, we're on number 6. It's like every radio show where they just have like an annoying amount of weird transitions.
Yeah, like Will Ferrell like quote like sound bits.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it'll just be the sound bites of random movies. Be like, here's number 6. Like, and you're like, all right.
Are we best friends? Yup. Number 6.
All right, number 6, as voted by you guys, our listeners, is The Tale. I don't know why I said The Tale.
Give me The Tale.
Season 1, Episode 9, The Hopkinsville Goblins.
Hey.
Listen.
Ping, ping.
Honestly, this is one of my top 2 episodes, I think.
This is a wonderful episode.
I really enjoyed this episode. This is a Ryan Benson author.
There he is.
So I really enjoyed this episode, and I remember when it was suggested, and I I did like a summary of it, and I was like, this is gonna be fucking wild.
It's bonkers.
And it's it was just a lot of fun to talk about.
Yeah,
because
it's a big
such
fun one.
an insane story. And it's crazy to think it was only episode 9. Episode 9 seems like it feels like we didn't record it that long ago.
Yeah.
But we have like 45 episodes in between then.
That was like what, last November, December or something?
Yeah, it's crazy.
That is crazy.
It's insane that we've managed to do a year of weekly, a thing for a week for a year.
I think we only missed one
we missed
week.
one because my freaking daughter had to ruin it. Hello. Can't you, don't you understand that we're the number 1 podcast ever?
We need this. Joe Rogan's not having kids. Why do you think he's the way he is?
I don't get to eat elk meat all day like Joe Rogan does.
Do like Fucking DMT.
Yeah. So that's pretty crazy. So episode 9.
Number 9. Oh, wait, no. Number 6, episode 9.
And season 1, episode 9. Here it is. Hopkinsville Goblins.
Your number 6.
We have Elmer Lucky Sutton, who we'll refer to as Lucky. A man in his early 20s was visiting his mom, Glennie Langford, and 3 half-siblings, Lonnie, Charlton, and Mary.
The 3.
Yeah, the devil, the McDonald's
the what?
3. I don't know why I said the devil's 3. Wow.
All right, the devil's 3. Some Johnny, and what's
Johnny, and Johnny. It's like Tony, but... So he was on break from his job as a traveling carny.
He's my favorite.
Yep. So Lucky is a carny.
carnies.
He was with his wife and fellow carny, Vera.
Oh, a carny love story.
Yeah, hashtag carny love story.
That's trending on Twitter.
And their friends Billy Ray and June Taylor for the weekend.
Wait, Billy Ray Cyrus?
It's Billy Ray Cyrus and Lucky Luciano. And they went to
Wow, the story
Devil's
is so
Three-Way.
star-studded.
So he's freaking out. And everyone assumes he's joking or that he saw a shooting star or a meteor, but Billy Ray insists, and he seems like genuinely bothered. So Lucky's like, all right, you know what, Billy Ray, if this is really freaky...
All right, Billy Ray.
All right, Billy Ray, I couldn't take you seriously
Fine.
before, but now... So he's freaking out so much. So Lucky's like, okay, why don't we go back out to where you saw this object and we can put this to rest because, we want to play our card game.
Clearly, it's just another Billy Ray classic.
It's a classic
shenanigan.
Billy Ray goof and gaff. And
Exactly.
so Lucky and Billy Ray walk out to the well. This is never not going to be funny to us. So there's a glowing object approaching from the woods behind the house.
Ooh, it's coming.
Right. So as the object gets closer, the two realized it was a, quote, short human-like creature with large eyes, 2 legs that seemed to float rather than walk, and 2 arms raised as if in surrender. So Lucky and
it's a total wuss.
So they scream. The two are screaming and they're freaking out and they come running back inside.
What? It was surrendering.
Well, but they still see this creature from a fucking another planet. Glennie screamed and everyone comes running because she's the first one to see this object in the doorway. So Billy Ray immediately shoots, right? So he shoots at the object, piercing a hole in the screen door. He then runs out to the porch chasing after the creature. As he did, a claw hand reached down from the roof, grazing his hair. Ooh. So this thing ran to the roof, he's chasing it, and apparently it grazes his hair
Just
with
like
a claw.
that's soft.
Yeah, he's like, oh, this is Garnier fruit teeth right there.
Billy Ray. And as we do know, Billy Ray does have great hair.
I mean, if you've ever seen him, he's like a water buffalo with human legs. He's got that beautiful hair. Within an hour, 6 law enforcement and media members have converged on the farm, including military personnel. So
what a scene.
I know, exactly. You can picture it. You've got police cars, caution tape, army trucks, media vans, all on this small farmstead.
Just looking to do battle with these floating buckets.
Yeah, exactly. We're trying to find the floating spooky bucket boys.
That's a shirt.
So this is what a UFO festival chairperson says. He's like, yeah, the family, they peace out. Now, Glennie moved to an apartment and refused to live in the country anymore at all after that. She's like, I was way too...
She's a city girl?
She was a country girl her whole life. And she's like, I can't live in the country anymore. I can't be alone like that. I need nearby people.
That's how being a country girl and then goblins make you into a city gal.
I just need to find a girl who's been goblinfied and is now...
giving up her rural lifestyle due to metallic goblins.
Honestly, it's a classic rom-com setting.
This will be an everlasting love.
So
she used to be a
this
country
is just
girl.
yeah.
And now she's in the big city after a goblin.
After a goblin yelled at her
after
house.
Looky Loos run her out of town. Jennifer Lopez is.
I was trying to think of Ryan Reynolds.
And Eva Mendes.
He's a city boy just trying to find his way in his corporate architecture environment.
And she's a rural girl chased out of town by Looky Loos and space goblins.
Jennifer Aniston.
In a love encounter of the third kind.
Ooh.
This will be.
I want to get like, I wish that was a public domain song. Wow, what an episode.
I can't believe what I just heard.
Gee willikers.
That's scary.
What were you going to say?
There was a lot of amazing, just the word Billy Ray Cyrus really tickled us.
Oh my God. Billy Ray is I could not stop laughing. Listening to it back and editing that little clip together, I was like, oh yeah, this is still a hilarious name.
It's so good. Lucky Billy Ray, Glennie the Mother. It was just like the sickest group of musicians.
Classic. This is maybe my favorite bit on the show is the commercial.
the rom-com.
That's up there. The rom-com that's a top tier Monday Morning Macabre clip.
It was very off the cuff.
It sure was. But you know what? I think every single joke we've ever made on this is
we don't
off the cuff.
Yeah, now that I think about it, we don't prep anything.
It's not like we script our show. So that's a good in. It's just so crazy. It's just such a wild story. And there's so much pop culture references that come out of it. That's like the OG alien gray men army, like every single thing that you can think of that is like alien pop culture references. They're all because of that episode.
Your favorite?
Not that episode, because what happened
us.
in the episode.
Bringing that to light.
Yeah. If it wasn't for us making that episode, you never would have had E.T.
You never would have had that like old meme of like the weird alien smoking weed.
Yep. So you're welcome for all of those. Hopkinsville Goblins, definitely in my top 3, top 2 maybe.
I loved it.
Episodes. I'm glad you guys all loved it too, and just a solid, good time.
All right, Darce, I want to give out an award.
Oh, what's this? An award?
Ba, 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 ba.
It's the Monday Morning Macabre Awards, the Spookies, the 2020 Spooky Awards with Scones, hosted by Scones.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming. It's been a hell of a year. We've all struggled, but I just want to give out an award for the number 1 enemy of Monday Morning Macabre.
Oh, who is this?
Listen, we don't have our kind of influence in pop culture without making a couple of enemies, you know?
You gotta squeeze a few lemons into my eyes to get me in the mood, if you know what I mean.
And if you're looking to roughy these fethies, dude, you gotta get us in the mood.
Oh, wow.
The nominees for Monday Morning Macabre Enemy of the Year are Ludacris, whose face we said looks like a UFO. Darius.
Fuck Darius.
And Jason Segel.
Ooh, Jason Segel's my choice.
All right, here's the envelope.
Oh, he's opening the envelope.
And the winner is Darius.
Hey!
Fuck you, Darius.
Fuck you, Darius.
If you can see me right now, I got a middle finger for you right here and another one right over here. I got one right here. I just peeked on that
What
one.
he doesn't know is there an Amazon drone dropping a bucket of dog shit on his house.
Yeah, and you had it fucking coming, Darius. Don't you ever pull shit on us like that again.
So why don't you rethink your attitude for season 2, buddy?
Thank
you for watching the 2020 Spooky Awards with Scones. Okay, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Sorry, we lost connection for a minute. I don't know what happened, but hopefully the recording is still going and everything. Up next, we have, as voted by you, our listeners, number 5 episode.
Number 5.
Five. Number 5. Number 5 is a little episode, a recent episode.
A Reese?
Just made the cut.
A Reese PC, dude?
It's a Reese PC Trick or Treaty, Season 1, Episode 53, Count Carl von Kosel.
This guy was the worst.
This dude made me want to not record again. Hey.
This dude almost ended Monday Morning Macabre.
This man almost ended our whole career. Count Carl von Kosel, just a real jackwagon of a man.
He's the biggest jackwagon. This was a suggestion by another listener at Jojo Wellborn.
Hey, Jojo was like, hey, I'm going to slide in your DMs. I'm going to ruin your fucking life.
I'm going to make you cringe, baby.
And boy, oh boy, did she ever. This one was wild in a different sense than the goblins were wild. The goblins were just wacky and crazy. It's like Gremlins, right? Where it's like, oh, that's fun and crazy and wild. Whereas this one was wild in the way that like the human centipede's wild. Where you're like, this is so insane that I want to like cut my eyes out of my face.
After doing this podcast in these subjects, I'm like hanging on to a small shrivel of my faith in humanity.
Yep, it's very. It really has opened my eyes to just to the great people we have in this world, and Count Karl von Kosel is one of those great people. And Scones, we brought him into the studio to interview.
Oh my God, Darcy, you did.
Just comes out dancing with his wife. Yeah, hey. No! You know what? That's enough of us talking about it. Why don't you just jump into it? Count Karl von Kosel, episode number 5.
Number 5. One fact her family remained ignorant of was that Tanzler was the only person with a key to the mausoleum.
Oh, God, I hate this. This is not how I want to start my week.
Dude, I want a fucking mausoleum. This looks sick.
I mean, mausoleums, pretty dope. Taking women from them after they are deceased, twice as dope, brother. High five. Not quite as dope. Ew.
And this is where I am off. The
did,
hill was
why
not
did they
there
have
to
to
die
use...
on. He needed more quality time with his decaying dream girl. So he put Elena's rapidly decomposing carcass in a toy wagon and transported it to a makeshift lab he had fashioned inside of an old airplane.
Oh, it had to be a toy wagon?
Dude, he's in an airplane. I'm looking at it right now. He called it Elena's airship.
Hold up. We've got toy wagons.
Yep.
Possible necrophilia.
Oh, definite necrophilia, if you ask me.
Definite necrophilia. and airplanes? Wait. Is it a giant mock plane or is it a real airplane?
It's like an old airplane. I don't know. It doesn't look like a real airplane, but it's the size of a real airplane. And he's making a lab in it.
What the fuck?
And he is definitely, I think necrophilia
Where
is
did he
definitely
get
at
the
play
fucking
here.
airplane?
I don't know, dude. I'm looking at a picture of it, though. It's in Key West, so it's probably just laying around.
Actually, that explains so much.
Dude, this guy's the ultimate simp.
Yeah, I was going to say, dude, he is like a simp from beyond the grave.
Dude, simp god.
Simp god. Dude, we should make a movie about undead simps.
Internal simp god. Count Karl von Kosel.
Count Karl von Simp.
Over the years, Tanzler kept Elena alive, quote unquote, using wire hangers to preserve her frame, stuffing her abdominal cavity with rags. That's the worst part to me.
Did you say with rags?
With rags, routinely reapplying wax to her face and displacing her decaying scalp with real hair. Where is he getting the hair? This, what is this? I don't know this reference. This domestic Ed Gein style bliss went on for 7 years.
Ed Gein, my dear boy.
Sorry, dude. I don't get the reference because I'm dumb.
Ed Gein is a serial killer known for making leatherwork out of his victim's skin.
Wow. Next week
Such
on Monday Morning Macabre.
We'll talk about it sometime.
Scones learns about Ed Gein.
Ed Gein for Scones. It'll be the musical episode. Nipple belt across my way.
It's basically what's that serial killer musical? The Demon Barber of something street.
Oh, Sweeney Todd with Johnny Depp and Tim Burton.
It's just that, but we change all the words to Ed Gein.
Okay, Ed Gein of Ed Gein.
So you get it.
There you go. I did it for you.
Excellent.
Can we do that for every musical?
Well, just change everything to
It's
Ed
like
Gein.
West Side Story. I just met a girl named Ed Gein.
If you're Ed Gein, you're Ed Gein.
When you're Ed Gein all the way. From your first nipple belt
to your skin lampshade.
We're onto something.
We are.
Anyway.
Everything was going great for Karl and, well, not that great for Elena. But until people inevitably started asking questions, because, you know...
Hey, why do you live in an airplane would have been my first fucking question.
Hey, why do you smell like rotting corpse and wax?
Hey, what are you doing with the toy wagon? I need it back. My son's getting tired.
He doesn't like the smell you left it with. The combination of Carl's habit of routinely buying women's clothing, his absence from the mausoleum, and a local boy's sighting of him through a window, dancing with what the boy described as a giant doll, aroused some serious suspicion. All right, we'll start that sentence again. Big disclaimer here. Stop listening if you don't want to get goosebumps. While performing an autopsy on Elena's remains, coroners discovered that among the multiple body parts Tansler had reconstructed, he had inserted a paper tube inside her to serve as a makeshift genitals.
Yikes. We're
gonna let that.
I mean, I think we all knew what was coming, but
we did.
Still, that is.
I didn't have to read it. Like, what the fuck?
A paper tube?
Yeah.
This is a dude who has never had sex.
I think he's making something from no experience.
You know what's probably pretty close to this? Recycled.
He just cracks open his printer. He's like this.
Oh my God, that is horrific. That's the worst thing we've ever said on this podcast.
While on the stand, Carl claimed he planned to use an airship to take Hoyos high into the stratosphere. So, quote, high into the stratosphere so that radiation from outer space could penetrate Elena's tissue and restore life to her somnolent form, end quote. Which made about as much sense as anything else during this fucking hearing.
This guy is just the most crazy person we've ever... There's so much to...
Oh, he's gone, dude. He's big tinfoil hat guy.
Yeah, he is... Could you imagine...
If it worked?
He was... Egg on my face.
I'd feel real dumb.
What an absolute nutcase. This guy is.
My favorite part listening back to that is when I talked about the piece of paper and I didn't even think about it and you're like, clearly he has no idea what a real...
Yeah, he's never been intimate with anyone.
No, but didn't he have kids when he was in Germany? He like had wife and kids that he left. And so it's like, man, it's been a while.
That dude has been in a drought, homie.
Drought god.
Big yikes.
Yeah, that in the wagon. The little kid's wagon.
The little toy wagon. Hey, my son needs that back. Just a crazy episode. I knew it was going to be voted in because after we finished, I was like, there's no way you can listen to that and not be like, you can't forget about that episode. It's not for a good reason though, but like you just can't. It's never going to leave your mind.
It's not. It's the fucking... Oh. And it's like...
You're going to be on your, like, Hawaii honeymoon vacation, like, sitting, drinking out of a coconut with a straw, looking out into a beautiful Hawaiian sunset, and just the thought of a paper tube is going to cross your mind.
Or I'm going to... Next, like, if I ever see, like, a plane, I'm going to be like, oh, there's a lab in there.
Oh, there's a man dancing with a human doll, apparently. In there.
And how do you, like, get the eyebrows that well, and then...
Oh my God, right?
And then get a piece of paper for the... Oh, jeez. I don't...
Yeah, he really... It's like when you max out your, like, Madden character into one skill really hard. And it's like, yeah, I really put all his attribute points into eyebrows.
Dude's route running is insane, but if you throw a ball to him, he couldn't catch it to save his fucking life.
Yeah, he's got big butterfingers, but boy, can he hoof it. Same deal.
Same exact thing.
Same exact thing, nothing different. Episode number 5 in the countdown.
Number 5.
Shout out to you guys. Moving on. Episode number 4. And this one's exciting for a reason that we'll get to in a second.
I'm excited for the reason.
Number 4, as voted by you, our listeners, is the OG episode. Mothman. Mothman and his moth memes. I want a Mothman to be my moth queen.
We actually recorded this one in my parents' breezeway, like on the floor.
Yes, this was like... It's funny listening back to the highlights because I'm like, oh, I can remember where these were, and I know why like some of them sound so wonky, or like there's definitely differences in audio quality as things moved around.
I'm very glad that none of the episodes where I had my mic backwards the entire time and sounded all metallically made it into the top 7, because those were embarrassing.
I forgot about that. This is like... Yeah, we were figuring out how to do everything. It's very, podcasting as a medium is very kind of avant-garde, do-it-yourself, figure it out. And boy, were we figuring it out. But that said, and that was actually another thing that I was kind of worried about. I was like, a lot of people are probably going to listen to this first, and it's their first experience with the podcast. So they might listen to like 5 seconds of it and be like, I don't want to listen anymore. But
yeah, they're not hearing it's Monday, it's morning. That was pre-intro.
Also, I'm listening back. I'm like, we are so much less like comfortable in speaking into microphones.
Oh, we got real goofy real fast.
And we like, I can like hear in the way I'm speaking, like I can hear like in my head the like things I would, or like the bits I would go for now. And I can just like hear myself like pulling back and not wanting to like be like a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, I can almost feel like I'm enunciating back then. Now I don't give a fuck. I'm slurring my words all over, but still like
now I'm just drinking 5 nips of whiskey and just going
essentially.
After it. But I mean, Mothman's a classic. We need to get a Mothman shirt out.
I mean, he's half on a shirt.
He is half on a shirt. Oh, I guess we do have a Mothman shirt out. What am I saying? Yeah, we do have a Mothman shirt out. Check it out on the merch store. I forgot don't worry about
it. Shut up.
I still, this is probably one of my favorite topics that we've talked about because it's just so crazy and interesting and well documented.
It is. And just cryptids are fun.
Cryptids are always fun.
A lot of cryptids.
If you're out there, cryptids.
Yeah, a lot of cryptids that I feel like I've looked into for part of this particular program. Sometimes there's not enough on the cryptid or enough like history or research or like eyewitness accounts to make a full-length Monday Morning Macabre episode.
Yeah.
That's why Mothman's awesome. There's so many sightings and shit.
So many witnesses and documentation and stories, like so many sources to pull from. It's just a crazy cool story.
And a shitty movie.
And a really shitty sci-fi film. So let's jump into it. Season 1, Episode 1, The Mothman.
This coffee's so bad.
Scones made some coffee for us.
Poorly.
Hey, it's better than...
No, yours is different. Yours is the 1 K-cup I had left. I had to brew this
my God,
from
you're
like,
such a gentleman.
from like grounds that I found like in the back of the cupboard, like not in a bag, just sitting there.
You gave me the 1 K-cup to rule them all. Thank you so much.
My grounds like were handed to me by a mouse in the back of the cabinet.
He's like, hey, this is good shit, bro.
He had a little mouse trench coat.
Yeah, he's like, hey, you looking for beans? Got all the beans you need right here. The TNT area was made up of several hundred acres of wood and large concrete domes where high explosives were stored during World War II. You know, just the thing in town where you just got hundreds
all the
of
bombs are together?
Yeah, they're like, hey, let's keep them all in
the dome.
Yeah, the dome. So a network of tunnels also honeycombed the area and made it possible for the creature to move about without being seen.
Why were there tunnels?
Because when you got all that explosives, you need to make it easily accessed by intruders.
Mothmen.
Or Mothmen. Yeah, they did not design this with Mothmen in mind, and that's a huge issue.
I hope that's changed. I hope the EPA is a little bit better about
you have to have
Mothman regulations.
Exactly. That's part 2, Mothman regulations.
This house is pretty old. This house was made in the 50s. Now I'm worried this is a Mothman.
a very easily accessible Mothman home.
Let's get to be one of those commercials where you're like, does your home have asbestos? You're entitled to free whatever. Is your home susceptible to Mothman?
And it's just Mothman like sitting at a kitchen table reading a newspaper like, what the
fuck. Yeah, he's in the shower. He's like, get out.
So there was very few homes in the Mothman region, but one dwelling belonged to the Ralph Thomas family. On November 16th, they spotted a funny red light in the sky that moved and hovered around the TNT plant. It wasn't an airplane, Mrs. Marcella Bennett, a friend of the Thomas family, said, but we couldn't figure out what it was. Mrs. Bennett drove to the Thomas house a few minutes later and got out of the car, and with her baby, suddenly, a figure stirred near the automobile. It seemed as though it had been lying down, she later recalled. It rose up slowly from the ground, a big gray thing, bigger than a man with terrible glowing eyes. Mrs. Bennett was so horrified that she dropped her little girl. She quickly recovered the child and ran to her house. So
she's much faster without her baby.
Yeah, she's like, this is dead weight. I need to go. And the Mothman's like, you left your baby. Hey.
Maybe that's all the Mothman wanted.
Mothman just wanted a child of its own.
Yeah, him and his moth lady haven't had any success. So
because the moon was always blocked by the trees.
Exactly.
So that's another sighting.
That's a good one.
That's a good.
That one has an anecdote of like that should be noted by child services.
Yeah, and it's honestly, it's legit because she could have I would have absolutely left out the baby drop.
Definitely.
That's
she had no reason to lie.
Right. She's like, I dropped my kid, I ran. And I was like, wait, what was that first part? And she's like, I ran.
She accidentally dropped her kid and she's like, oh, I need to make him an excuse. And of all the things you could have said,
in case her
there
son,
was a Mothman.
There was a big glowing red Mothman. I was so spooked. After all these sightings, right, all this strange stuff has been happening. It kind of culminates to this one event, okay?
Yeah.
And this is why I find it interesting. I think this is why it's like such a good urban legend.
So lay down the event.
All right. So most of the sightings had come to an end, and Mothman had faded away into the strange twilight zone from which he had come. But the story of Point Pleasant had not yet ended. Around 5 o'clock in the evening on December 15th, 1967, the 700-foot bridge linking Point Pleasant to Ohio suddenly collapsed while filled with rush hour traffic. Dozens of vehicles plunged into the dark waters of the Ohio River, and 46 people were killed.
I'm looking at the bridge right now. It's a good-sized, huge bridge. It's a
huge bridge.
Yeah.
And so on that tragic night, the James Lilly family, who still lived near the TNT plant, counted more than 12 eerie lights that flashed above their home and vanished into the forest.
That night?
That night of the bridge collapse.
So it's like Mothman and all his people, like, yeah, no, this looks pretty bad.
Yeah, it was a huge, like, catastrophe. And after that, no more sightings or strange occurrences happened in the town. That was the last.
Mothman got his revenge in peace.
Exactly. That's why I find it like so cool. Is like all these eerie things are happening and it all culminates in this like huge disaster, and then that's the end. Like no more.
That's
Mothman,
nuts,
isn't it?
That's really scary.
It's really, really, really creepy. I love that the lady drops her baby.
Listen, you got priorities.
It's just so crazy to me.
Dropping it like a bad habit.
Especially now that I have a child of my own. I can't believe you do that.
Well, you haven't seen Mothman.
That's true. I guess I'm speaking out of school here. But if I saw Mothman, I would just be like, she's yours now, goodbye. And like maybe, who knows? I'd be like, adoption.com. That would be the last things my daughter would ever hear her father say.
I feel like if you have a newborn baby, you're not that much faster without the baby. They're not that heavy.
That's the thing. It's going to be like, if you have a newborn baby, it's like 8 to 10 pounds.
Yeah, like
after like a month or two. So like you're probably still making a good 100-meter dash time,
For sure.
So the other thing that I love about Mothman is just the bridge collapse makes such a nice, it's such a nice bow that ties up the macabre gift of Mothman.
Because like the rest of them are kind of like sightings, and then there's like that one macabre, actually scary event that, like you just said, puts the bow on it.
Yeah, it's just the conclusion to the Mothman prophecy is just this terrible accident, and then he's gone forever. That's crazy. Yeah.
And we're like laughing along, like Ace and Bandit, and then it's like a bridge collapse and a bunch of people die, and it's like, whoa, what?
And we're like, but hey, Sin Bandit, are they okay? And Duke? We still have to go to the Mothman Festival.
We do.
That's next September. We got to remember to book a Mothman Festival. I think that would be some great bonus.
If you drive a large van or bus up and down the Eastern Seaboard and want to give us a free ride to West Virginia, let us know.
Yeah. If you want to let us come to Warped Tour, let us know.
Yeah, I heard Blink-182 is touring again.
Oh my God.
Where are you?
Catching things and eating their insides. Happy Halloween.
Miss you.
So that's season 1, episode 1, number 4 on our countdown, as voted by you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for enjoying Mothman and sticking with the podcast after you hear our Mothman blabberings.
Oh, Darce, I'm getting word. Hold on, from Sling and Dingers. Oh, we have another award to give out.
Oh my God, a second award. The 2020 Spooky Awards with host Stinko Bongo.
Hey everybody, it's me, Stinko Bongo here. Today, we're going to be giving out the award for Best Monday Morning Macabre Guest.
Best Morning Macabre Guest.
Best Monday Macabre Guest. The nominees.
Who are our nominees?
The nominees are our friend Sean. I don't know if he was in a regular episode, but he was in a Patreon episode.
Hey, Sean, our friend. Mike King, her problem.
Droopy Dog.
Droops. Oh, man. Gotta love Droops.
And
the big DD.
Tiny Scones.
Oh, it's Tiny Scones, Droopy Dog, and our friend Sean.
All right.
3 fictional characters have made it into this podcast.
And the winner is...
Dum-da-da-dum-da-dum-da-dum. I want to know what you're using for this noise.
Droopy Dog. Droopy's actually here. Can he come up to accept this award and give a little speech?
Hello, everybody. First of all, I'd like to say, I don't know.
Droopy.
My wife passed away, and I've recreated her in my airplane home.
All right, Droopy, let's get him off stage. Droopy's had too much.
Just big hook pulls him out.
Droopy's had too much from the open bar here at Sling and Dingers. All right, and we're back to the show.
Oh man. Okay. Hey. Okay. Apologies about this weird cutting out that keeps happening. I don't know what it is, but I hope everything is still going well. Moving on to number 3 in our countdown, as voted by you, our listeners, is season 1, episode 48, The Bell Witch.
The Bell fucking Witch.
The Bell Witch. This is another wild story.
It's got historical significance.
Historical significant. It's crazy.
It's like, try and wrap your mind around it.
It's like, put your head in my head and then try and use my thoughts. I can't
Thoughts
do
and
it.
ideas, baby. Thoughts and ideas.
Just a Andrew Jackson versus a witch. Like,
yeah. So Andrew Jackson, president of the United States, on the $20 bill, fucking just was going witch hunting.
Going witch hunting. Let's take a look at the clip. Season 1, episode 48, The Bell Witch. And today's episode is a recommendation, a suggestion from a listener.
A recommendation?
A recommendation.
From who? Who has the audacity to recommend?
Oh, old Wriggler himself.
Who?
Dakota/Lucas. It's both on Instagram. Riggs. Shout out to you, Dakota.
Is that 2 people, or he goes by Dakota or Lucas?
No, he goes by one or the other depending on if it's full moon or not.
Oh. Hold on, let me check.
Shout out to you. Is it a full moon right now?
Is it a full moon?
Yeah. Are we waxing or waning, dude? Give me that deets.
I think there's 2 full moons this month or something crazy.
Ooh. If it was a blue moon right now, dude?
Apparently on the 2nd of September was a full corn moon.
Dude, that was yesterday. So he's probably going by Dakota.
Yeah. Yeah, that
All right,
that
shout
tracks.
out to Dakota Riggs for the suggestion. One day in 1817, John Bell was inspecting his cornfield, as one does, when he encountered a strange-looking animal sitting in the middle of a corn row. Shocked by the appearance of this animal, which had the body of a dog and the head of a rabbit, Bell shot several times.
Oh, hell yeah.
The animal vanished. Bell thought nothing more about the incident, at least not until after dinner.
How can you not be thinking about that incident?
I was going to say, I'd be like, okay, I know I have to eat dinner, but I just saw a half dog, half bunny, and it disappeared in front of me. But these potatoes are banging, so I got to finish this.
I'm sitting at the table like, you ain't even seen this shit before.
Not long after that, the children began complaining of having their bed covers pulled from them and their pillows tossed onto the floor by a seemingly invisible entity. Pretty spooky.
Yeah, that's like, come on.
I mean, listen.
Are you fibbing?
I have a daughter, and I do gnaw on the end of her bedpost, and I do rip away the sheets and throw her pillows and stuff, but
that's just to build character.
I'm a good dad. That's just to get her ready for the frightening world we live in. So what was the Bell Witch? Scones, like most such stories...
Wait, so the animal's the Bell Witch?
We're about to explain.
Oh, okay,
Scones.
sorry.
So shut your fucking mouth. Scones?
Yeah?
Do you want to keep fucking being a part of this? I'm just a huge power trip right now. Scones, every fucking week, I have to do this.
This is the last episode. Scones is...
I'm just gunshot. Well, Scones is on vacation for the foreseeable future.
Scones broke his leg and is unable to race.
So I had to do it. I had to take him out back. It was the humane thing to do. The encounters escalated, and the Bell's youngest daughter, Betsy, began experiencing brutal encounters with the invisible entity.
Ew.
It would pull her hair and slap her relentlessly.
Ugh.
So my kink, her problem. But often leaving welts in...
Oh, goodness.
Go off, king.
Listen, we're sex positive podcast. We don't kink shame.
So, they have an encounter with a witch before they even reach the John Bell's house.
Yeah, and it sounds like Andrew Jackson's going to end up hooking up with this witch, which adds so much more to the lore of his presidency.
Yeah, it's a real Twilight situation where it's like, it's a will they, won't they? They're always like flirting like this. Like she'll stop his wagon and he'll tell the boys.
Like everyone in gym class knows Andrew Jackson and the Bell Witch like each other.
I know. It's like, just get together already. Now, one of the men in the company, one of his boys, claims to be a, quote, witch tamer.
Dude,
and after several...
That guy fucks.
Yeah, that guy, he's like the Witcher of
He's
1800s.
like, I've been having some
Tennessee.
crazy ladies in my life. They call me the witch tamer. And everyone's like, dude, I don't think you can say that.
Yeah, they're like, hey, please stop. We're in a home. After several uneventful hours, he pulled out a shiny pistol and proclaimed that its silver bullet would kill any evil spirit that it came into contact with.
Dude, this is already the coolest story I've ever heard about a U.S. president.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like cannibalism's pretty close, but this is...
We've had a disproportionate amount of presidents in this podcast. We had Andrew Jackson apparently going witch hunting, George H.W. avoiding cannibals, Bill Clinton like drug smuggling and hiding murders in Arkansas. Like, it's a wild time.
Further on in the night, the witch begins to make an appearance. She starts pinching and slapping the men, and Jackson's covers were ripped off as quickly as he could put them back on. And his entire...
This witch is such a prankster compared to the other witches
I know. Of like lore.
Yeah, she's just grabbing and pinching and ripping off fucking covers. Like, oh, you cold now?
Yeah, it's like Scary Movie 2 style ghost haunting. So the entire party of men were slapped, pinched, and had their hair pulled by the witch until morning. And that's when the witch hunter has shut the fuck up, and he's like, this sucks. Now, Jackson and his men decide to hightail it out of Adams because they're like, this is the worst.
I can only get pinched and have my hair pulled so many times.
I'll get shot, no problem, but if you pinch me, not going to happen. He's later quoted as saying, this is Andrew Jackson, he says, I'd rather fight the British in New Orleans than have to fight the Bell Witch.
That's the coolest sentence that has ever been said by a United States president.
I love the guy who's the witch hunter. He's my favorite character in this little ditty.
It's such like a humble brag of him being like,
yeah,
I know what I'm doing, guys. This isn't my first rodeo.
Listen, this dude's cosplaying as a witch hunter. And well, the thing is that like back in the day, that was a thing you could be.
I mean, yeah, they all fully believed in this witch. They weren't just getting tickled and like silly slapped by nothing.
Getting the sheath pulled off of them. She's such a nice, like, fun, like, teasing witch.
At worst, annoying.
Yeah, right. It's not like I'm going to boil your children in a pot and make a potion out of
she
them.
just
it's like,
stays eternally young by giving you some good pranks.
Right. It's like it's like the ghosts in Disney cartoons.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you know what I mean? Like that big, like, floaty, spectral,
they
smoky
like take
looking
your
thing.
hat
It'll just
and
like
stuff. Like
yeah, or like dump water on your head and like it's just such a weird thing for a witch
and
to
Andrew
do.
Jackson being like, I'd rather fucking take like 1,000 more muskets in the chest than have to deal with this bullshit.
Yeah, he's like, fuck this shit. I am so out of here. Just a wild, wild story.
And an amazing love story.
True.
Or would-be love story.
No, the fan fiction's being written right
It is.
now.
It came out a little 50 Shades of Grayish for most people probably, but I got it. The script is here.
They got hot and heavy, and we're going to release it into the store soon. Scones that would actually be such a good thing to sell.
It would be.
If you wrote a fan fiction, that would be amazing.
Like one night, we're going to be joking about this. One night I'm going to have one too many glasses of something.
And then the typewriter starts clacking away.
And then you're going to have a very erotic fanfic.
I can't wait. And I don't think the listeners can wait either. So that's our number 3.
Must be 18 or plus to order.
Yes, it's an adult picture book.
I have to draw it too.
It's gonna be a flip book.
Ugh.
Number 2 on our countdown. Number
2.
As voted by you, our listeners, our number 2 episode of the first season of Monday Morning Macabre.
Sock it to me.
Is season 1, episode 7, H.H. Holmes. Ding 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 ding
Ding, ding, ding.
bing bing. What a piece of shit this guy was.
Well, there's a special place in hell for this guy.
Just a real asshole. This episode, looking back at it, I was LOLing at the well, let's play here. Let's play this clip first, and then I'll run
Daddy-o.
So here's the clip for season 1, episode 7, H.H. Holmes. Hope you enjoy it. Start with his early life. So Holmes was born as Herman Webster Mudgett.
That's tough.
Yeah, he right off the bat. He's off to a rough start.
Jeez, that's a rough name to start off with.
He was born in Gilmanton, New Hampshire on May 16th, 1861.
New Hampshire.
So we're going back to the late 1800s. This is a this is more, like I said, he's the earliest or first American serial killer. So, we're going back a ways. Herman was like most serial killers. He was abused by his father. His father would...
That name alone was abuse from his father.
Just laugh, just roses.
Yeah.
So his father would... he would do things to Herman, like if he was whining too much, he'd put a kerosene rag in his mouth. I know, like... He really
I thought you were going to say like a belt or something.
No, it's like, and he'd also starve him.
Kerosene rag.
Yeah, he would starve him also if he's being, so like.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's off to a rough start to begin
gruesome
with.
for Herman Mudgett.
Yeah. Growing up, he took isolation in the woods, probably because he didn't want to get kerosene rags stuffed in his mouth and stuff.
He would just hang out in the woods?
Like he would go into the woods and that's where he like spent a lot of his time.
So it's like, he's like an evil version of like Thoreau.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's where he started dissecting reptiles and small animals.
Ooh.
Yeah. He's got all the classic traits of the McDonald's 3 or whatever it's called, where it's like
McDonald's?
Yeah, there's serial killers. It's killing animals, lighting fires, and wetting your bed are like 3 signs that you'll grow up to be a killer.
Oh, what's the McDonald's for?
I think
is that a guy?
The guy who found... No,
okay. It's like throwing out your Happy Meal, ordering Burger King.
Hanging out with the Hamburglar, being rude to Grimace, and not getting...
Not donating to the Ronald McDonald House. Yeah.
So at 19, he leaves New Hampshire to study medicine, abandoning Clara and their infant son. He first enrolls at University of Vermont, but after a year, he transfers to the University of Michigan. And there's a lot of skepticism as to why he did that. But the predominant theory is that
he's a huge football fan.
is that University of Michigan had a cutting-edge curriculum on human dissection. So he was like, I like that. After all my dissecting of animals and stuff in the woods, I want to get more involved in that.
That's what a lot of kids talk about in high school.
Yeah, standard locker room talk.
I'm like, this one has a nice campus that's in the city, and this one really dissects people. But it's all, his Common App must have been just had the craziest essay.
He now is at UVM. And
smoking pot, probably.
Well, not quite, close. A lot of kids who knew him repeatedly mentioned his habit of stealing medical cadavers, both intact and in pieces. So it's a lot like smoking pot. If were...
Oh, he's doing wonky stuff with those.
Something that supports this, he had a landlady who, quote, noticed a foul stench in Holmes's room emanating from a dark object under the bed. She then swept the object out from under the bed, and it was the cadaver of a dead baby. So he's like stealing cadavers from the school, and, well, what he was doing with them is that
trying to be the best surgeon he can be.
Yeah, he was, I guess. I mean, in his views, he's probably like, what? This is just initiative. I'm just showing
It's how I learned, dude.
Right.
It's not in a classroom setting.
So the hotel, unbeknownst to its patrons, had hinged walls and false partitions. Some rooms had 5 doors and others had none. Secret airless chambers hid underneath floorboards and iron plate-lined walls stifled all sound. There was stairs that went to nowhere. There was hidden rooms. There was trap doors. Holmes's own apartment had a trap door in the bathroom, which opened to reveal a staircase, which led to a windowless cubicle. In the cubicle, there was a large chute that tunneled through to the basement. In addition, one room had gas fixtures built in, where Holmes would seal his victims in the room, gas the room, and then move the bodies to the chute nearby. He built an entire murder hotel.
It's like Saw.
Yeah, so it's actually the hotel season of American Horror Stories. A lot of that is based off of this.
Oh my god!
He literally built an entire building so that he could commit murder after murder after murder and dissect the bodies in the basement. All the doors and some stairs were connected to an alarm system, which routed back to Holmes's room. So anytime a patron would leave the room or walk down certain stairs, he would be alerted via this alarm system.
This was all set up for the World's Fair?
Yeah, this is all... Well, that was it was set up and named the World's Fair Hotel because he knew there would be a lot of transient people coming through for the fair, needing places to stay.
Dude had a big stash.
Yeah, he did have a big... The scariest part about him was his facial hair.
What's his stash?
Was his big stash. So for 2 years in the hotel, he hired more than 150 women to work in the hotel. These women were primarily his victims along with guests. So over the course of 2 years, he had 150 different women working because he would literally just hire them, murder them, hire new women, murder them, or any guests that come through would. There was a huge rate of fatality if you were a guest in this hotel.
I bet he never had to give anyone a raise, though.
True, that's true. So, yeah, and like I said, the basement had a dissection table, a crematorium, and acid baths, so it made it hard for police to eventually decide. Yeah. It made it hard for the police to eventually decide on the total number of victims Holmes had, but the general number that is quoted is around 200 people.
Holy fuck-a-moly.
When Holmes was hung, his neck didn't break after the initial drop. Instead, he hung for 20 minutes before being proclaimed dead.
Good. I hope it sucks for him.
Yeah. And then in the coming days before he was hung, he claimed that he became the devil and that his face had started to become the devil's face.
Who's to say it wasn't?
Well, let's get into that.
Ooh.
Because in the aftermath of Holmes's death, the guy who tipped off the police about his initial insurance fraud and things like that was shot and killed by a police officer. The warden of the prison where Holmes was kept killed himself. The caretaker of the hotel killed himself.
Ooh.
With his suicide note only reading, "I could not sleep." And then, finally, the creepiest one, which goes along with this whole devil thing, the DA who argued the case in court died in a fire.
Oh, man.
And the only thing left unburned on his body was a picture of Holmes.
That's crazy.
Isn't that nuts?
That's macabre. That's spooky time.
So fucking
Dude, that's
creepy.
fucking crazy town.
It's insane that
He got away with all of it?
we got away with all of it.
Well,
And
as
also,
for
could
as
you
long as he
imagine being
did.
one of the police officers who had to like go through the hotel and be like, what the like?
Do you think you're like, what the fuck? Or do you think you're like, oh, we missed this one?
Ooh, boss is gonna be so mad.
Oh, man, this is,
Yeah, he's like,
someone
"Ooh,"
should have saw this
sweating
one.
and like.
We need some kind of records of people disappearing or something.
Yeah, I bet this advanced the record keeping of people.
Oh my god, so much. So many
Right.
missing people.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, now you can never get away with this. It'd be like the first family's gone. There'd be like a video in a Netflix documentary. Like they get busted.
A week later.
Yeah. Like it would be
Just the
canned
next
so
season
fast.
of Serial will just
Also, they would have to have inspectors for like the
Yeah, that's
building
right.
of a major hotel.
100, like, yeah,
And be
100
like,
room
"Hey."
hotel.
The room with like 8 bathtubs in it and no doors, that's a violation of code.
Yeah, that cased in room with just gas. Yeah, that's not gonna pass inspection. This episode, I was LOLing as I was listening back to it. The McDonald's triad part is maybe my favorite thing we've said on the podcast.
The fucking Hamburglar.
That was really funny, and then also the hotel not being up to codes is a hilarious thought as well. I laughed really hard when it's like, yeah, that room with no doors,
That's not gonna fly.
that's not up to code.
Seems like
That
a
was
fire
really
hazard.
fun.
It's like with H.H. Holmes, he's another one where I was like, maybe we jumped the gun saying Carl Tanzler was the worst.
Yeah, it's every single time we listen to new ones, we're like, oh yeah, that guy also is a real
Like,
garbage person.
Supremely evil.
Yes, and it's probably just gonna get worse from here. But
We're gonna ride it out, baby.
another episode of like hilariously weird, super creepy stuff. But at the end, you get like a real nice spooky finish.
It really. Ooh.
I don't know if I.
That's
meant, like,
hold on,
you
I'm
know-
writing that down in the fucking 50 Shades of Grey thing. Hold on. All right, there it is. Got it. And
Got
gonna
it.
put spooky finish. All right, got it. Okay, so, but it's like one of those. Like a very common theme in the show is like, how the fuck did he get away with this for so long? Like, what were
Yep.
we talk about it, I believe, just like the cops being like showing up and being like, oh, we fucked up.
Yeah, that happens like every episode where you're like, hey, police, what? How?
Hey, police, you're like a year or two late.
So many people all the time were dying. Nobody looked.
200 bodies?
Yeah, and then at the end, his picture being the only thing unburned. That's such a
that's like a
what a spooky finish.
that's and
And write that down.
right there, spooky finish. Got it. But yeah, it's like kind of like what we were talking about earlier with the Mothman, where there's like this nice,
Yeah,
like very scary
nice
bow on top,
Yes.
icing on the cake kind of thing.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
So just a crazy dude. And you know when he was doing all this in his head, he was thinking, you know what? I bet I would come in second place on a podcast in 100 years.
I bet it
boy,
it was worth it.
I think honestly, it was worth it.
All right, Darce, before we get to our number one, first we have to give out a Lifetime Achievement Award.
A Lifetime Spook Achievement Award?
The Lifetime Achievement Award, the number one Monday Morning Macabre supporter and fan,
Whoa.
Jenny.
Hey, my wife, am I right? You know that movie?
Not only sucking up because it's his wife and the mother of his child and a good friend of mine, but
Yes.
also because she has loved Monday Morning Macabre, like, since it even came out, she loved the episode.
Yeah, she
made us charcuterie while we were recording.
Yeah.
And that's
She
I love charcuterie.
she made the resin magnets, that Lulu the barber one. Shout out to you, Lulu. She's just a real supporter of the show. And so thank you to my wife Jenny. Everyone at home is like, this entire segment is just so that he can get out of like trouble later or something. But you know what? It's the
Sometimes
truth.
you just got to pay homage. You got to know where you come from to know where you're going. I wish I could have said that in a Matthew McConaughey voice. Sometimes you got to take a step back. All right. Yeah, so that's the end of the awards segment.
The awards. So 2020 Spooky Awards.
So if you were here just for the 2020 Spooky Awards, you can turn it off right now.
Yeah, now you can get out. We know why you're here, and it's over. Now, moving in to the top episode of season 1. It is a special episode that honestly wasn't even supposed to be in the podcast until enough people were writing in about it. And I guess I'll just go ahead and say it. Number 1 episode, season 1, episode 17, 18, and 19, the Dyatlov Pass incident.
This is so poetic.
It's such a crazy thing to get so many votes for an episode that we almost didn't put out because it was our literal first recording.
First time we ever even sat in front of mics.
I have never seen technology before.
Until that day.
This was until a man put rags over our heads and dragged us into this like volcano and stuck us in front of these microphones, I guess they're called. I don't know,
but it happened and it was amazing.
We talked for hours.
Literal hours.
And then sat down and afterwards thought we should shorten this greatly. And that's this is the origin. These are the first
numero uno. Dude, this is A New Hope. This is Back to the Future 1. This is Rocky 1. This is
go through every original movie. This is The Matrix.
This is The Fellowship of the Ring. Or I guess The Hobbit. But still.
Yeah. So here's the highlights of season 1, episode 17, 18, and 19, the Dyatlov Pass incident. It was a long one, so they're a little longer. Enjoy. So, there's a lot to dissect.
Yeah, let's unpack it.
So, what I really like about this like event and this weird mystery is that like it's unsolved. So we're not going to have it's not going to tie up nicely in a bow at the end.
I'm going to be very unsatisfied.
You're going to be so unsatisfied, and that's a Darce guarantee. So at the end of it, it's like nobody knows what happens, and there's just so many theories, and they're all pretty interesting, and it runs the gambit of like weird and creepy and like, is it a conspiracy? Is it a Yeti? Is it a UFO? Is it a missile launch?
I'm on board with Yeti.
Yeah. Okay. So your top one right now is Yeti.
Easily.
Okay. So that's why I was like, oh, I want to do this one first because it like really covers such a crazy variety of like potential weird shit.
That's good. And it's funny because like if you're a cynic, this story doesn't sound all that crazy. Kids take a hard ski route.
Right.
And then something goes wrong.
But
then when you get into like the really specifics of it, it's
yeah. Oh, we'll get into the specifics.
A lot could have happened.
Yeah, and you're gonna be like, what?
All right, Xena.
And word on the street is that like several of the dudes in this group were like crushing hard on Xena. She was the girl everyone wanted to be like. Ooh.
I'm looking at the group right now. It's 10 people. Only 2 of them are girls.
That's right. There's only 2 girls.
Sorry, Ludmila Dubinina. You lost out to Xena.
Xena was
the popular girl.
Yeah, she was the popular one. We're about to get
a 50-50 shot.
Yeah. So now we're getting to Luda. Like you said, Ludmila Dubinina, or Luda. She was the other girl, as you've mentioned. She was 20 years old and the youngest of the group. Okay. Now, here's where she's kind of a huge badass. She was a student of construction industry economics and was a serious person. So
she didn't fuck around.
No, she did not.
Oh, wait, can I say that?
What, fuck around?
Yeah, fuck around. Can we say fuck around?
Fuck around? I mean, we did, and we are.
All right, let's fuck around. Okay, keep going. So Luda was fucking around.
So she was fucking around.
No, she doesn't fuck around.
She is not one to fuck.
Yes.
To F. Why would I even censor at this point? No, he said like, okay, anyway. She was not one to do that. She was a very serious person, but she was strong, and she was like very strong-willed. And there was a previous hiking trip that they went on where she got shot in the leg after a companion mishandled a hunting rifle, and she had to be carried out of Siberia's eastern Sayan Mountains over 50 miles of rugged terrain, and she was just like making jokes, cracking jokes, hanging out the whole time as they like got out of this place with like a gunshot wound to her leg.
You could give me robotic legs, and I would never walk 50 miles in my entire life.
So next we've got Yuri Krivonishenko, or Georgie.
So Krivonishenko is different than Doroshenko, and they just call him Georgie.
Yeah,
he has
so
got some ears on it.
Yeah, that dude. Yeah, he's got big ol' ears. He was the group's resident jester and musician, always ready with wisecracks and a mandolin. Right.
That's the guy you want in your group.
Right. He's the guy, like, he's playing the mandolin, but like this is at a time where like you're not an annoying person.
Mandolin's dope.
Because that's what is the only form of entertainment in Russia. Yeah. He's really lucky he was born
like on the campsite. If you don't have a guy playing mandolin, you're all going nuts.
That's true. Yeah. Everyone's like, oh man, I'm so bored. Where's that one instrument that like two people know how to play?
Yeah. So they're going from the southern city?
Yep, they're going from south to north.
Okay.
Basically, they're on the train, and then a newcomer appears. A new
challenger approaches.
New challenger approaches. It happened to be an acquaintance of Igor's who had asked to tag along in the last minute because his group, it kind of dissolved.
Oh, fuck this guy.
So
this is like right out of a horror movie.
Right?
And
isn't this
this
like a
guy who's like, oh, yeah, you didn't just go insane for the time period since I last saw you.
So his name is Alexander Semyon Zolotaryov, but his nickname is Sasha.
Mm-hmm.
And this dude was 37.
Wait.
So, yeah.
That sounds old.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, compared to the rest of them, he's much older.
Was that weird then?
That's the thing I was thinking. I was like, I don't know.
If I was like with my friends in college and one of them was like, oh, hey, look, it's my friend. And it's a 37-year-old guy who none of us know.
Yeah, and he's this tatted up ex-Marine, well, not Marine, but ex-soldier. And Sasha Zolotaryov was intended to set off with a student hiker, and they're headed into the subpolar Urals, but then the timetable didn't suit him well. So then he got introduced to Igor and his group. Yeah, the alarm bells immediately. In my head,
there's
like,
red flags.
Yeah, right.
Like Siberia winter is a big red flag. Guy who has like his body doesn't work because of rheumatoid arthritis. That's a red flag.
Yep. And then a 37-year-old man with gold teeth shows up.
Yeah,
he has gold teeth, by the way.
That's like the biggest red flag.
Yep. He had a.
That's like the flags you see at the fire stations that are huge. That's a big red flag.
Yep, exactly. So also he had a tattoo of beets.
Like the vegetable?
Like the vegetable. Not Beats by Dre, because this is 1959. Like the vegetable.
Like Dwight Schrute. Like
yeah, exactly. He like rolled up from
farm?
Schrute Farms with gold teeth, inked up, and he got an ink of beets.
Is that like a tough imagery in Russia at the time?
I don't know.
People now get like eagles and tigers and stuff, and like he's
like,
beets.
yo, this crop right here, bruh. So he's got.
I was gonna get a turnip, but I didn't want to seem too hard.
Someone wanted to intimidate people or show off power, and so they did so by killing 3 hikers.
They unleashed the fire orbs.
The fire demons. I know all details in this event and can say only those who were inside the orbs know more than I do. Whether they were people inside.
What?
He thinks that it's like UFOs, orbs.
Oh, I'm thinking it's a ball of fire.
Well, that's what
just sentiently flying around.
Well, I guess he thinks it's like a ball of fire, but inside the fire are aliens, more or less. Is what it sounds like.
But the fire doesn't burn anything. It just beats the crap out of people.
He said whether there were people inside, and I'm saying that with air quotes, whether there were people inside that time or any time is yet unclear. Ivanov was reluctant to say whether or not he thought the orbs were some kind of weapon, preferring instead to talk in vague terms of energy bundles unexplained by modern science.
I hate that.
To quote Yuri Yudin, he says, this is actually a quote that starts the book, but it's also a pretty good quote to end on. He says, "If I could ask God just one question, it would be what really happened to my friends that night." Yuri Yudin. I mean, this is like like I said in that podcast episode, this is just my favorite mystery ever.
There's so much going on and so many players that it's like so interesting to think about like how.
Yeah, there's so many possibilities and none of them are any less or more valid than other ones because there's like just enough evidence to kind of give you an idea, but not enough for anyone to be definitive about what happened.
Dude, and also this is where we learned about fucking Murder Wind.
Yes,
I think about Murder Wind on a regular basis
Murder
now.
Wind is... Honestly, so many events in history have been affected by murder wind. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, I'm like walking now, like when I go for walks in the city and it's the fall, so like it's windy a lot of the time, like, and it's coming off like a building and it has a little whistle to it. I'm just like, am I about to go nuts? Like, am I about to fucking die?
You're like, am I about to cut out of my tent right now?
Am I about to have like a little fucking mountain tornado come through and like sound like a freight train and then I just like jump in the river?
Then an energy ball of fire is going to punch me in the face.
It's ridiculous. And like it's like a pulling out a string thing where like they find one body and it's like, oh, this one is here and it like froze to death and stuff. And then another one that's in a totally different state. And they find all these bodies. And then there's also just the cast of characters of 1950s Russia is hilarious.
Oh my God.
It's so different from
so good.
Like our experience.
Anything else.
That like a group of friends had like a mandolin player, like a 37-year-old guy, like
a man with gold teeth and beat tattoos.
Yeah, fucking beats. And then it was just ridiculous.
So good.
I just love talking about how much like the idea of them just loving mandolin.
I think that like I'm so happy that other people also were like, yeah, that this is we also enjoy this topic so much. It makes me very happy, and I am subscribed to the Dialog Pass newsletter, so I always get little updates, and I'm waiting for that one email where it's like, we fucking figured it out.
We did it. We captured the murder tornado that did it.
He's in handcuffs, and we're gonna have an episode where we discuss the solution at some point, maybe, hopefully in the future. Now, this is also the only multi-part episode we have. Although I do have one, I think, in the works that I'm planning for another multi-part episode.
Ooh, season 2 or a season 1 part 2 deep dive at?
Yeah, I think we're going to have another deep dive some point in season 2 because there's something I want to talk about pretty bad.
Ooh, talk about it,
and it'll probably take longer than our usual tight 25 to 35 minute episodes.
Yeah, if Sling and Dingers can give us a little flexibility, usually right at 30 minutes, they're really looking at us. They're really giving us the
they're like
they're like giving us the slashing their throat signs. Like, keep talking, I'll fucking kill you.
So that's your number one episode, guys. Again, just thank you to everybody who has supported the podcast, listened to the podcast, told people about the podcast. Anybody out there who is just listening and enjoying it, we really appreciate you. It means the world to us that people are actually like partaking, but also like communicating with us and like telling us how much they enjoy the show and actually being fans of it. It's crazy.
It's nuts. This started as just a hobby, and it's like
it's blossomed into a bigger hobby.
Yeah, a slightly larger hobby, but it's amazing. Any kind of support.
Thank you to everyone who voted. Way more votes came in than expected.
And quickly. I was surprised.
Yeah. We were like, oh, we might get like one or two people who will be like, hey, this is my favorite stuff. But we got like many, many, many more than that. And so thank you to everyone who voted. Go out and vote yourselves. If you're from the United States, that's something else.
Go exercise your right to vote.
Yeah. You voted for Monday Morning Macabre. Now go vote for the nation, And just big thank you to all the listeners. This episode's for you guys, and we hope you enjoyed looking back at season 1. I know I did.
What a ride. I mean, think about how much changed in our lives over this year.
True. Yeah. In between our recording of Dialog Pass and today, it is wildly different, especially my life of now having a daughter.
And a house.
And a house, like a mortgage and a daughter. And
me, I've learned to trust again after my fish died. So we're all growing as people a lot.
So we've really had some crazy character arcs going on in this podcast. And thank you all for listening and being a part of it. I hope you all have such a good Halloween. This should be out on Halloween. So I mean, we're recording it in Halloween morning.
It's going to be
and it should
a
out.
tight turnaround.
Yeah, it'll be a quick turn on this bad boy, and just have a good Halloween. And you guys know where to find us.
Hey, you know where to find us. Inside the volcano, baby.
Inside the volcano. From the insides of the volcano, this is Darcy and Scones saying, have a good Monday. Until next season.
Until next season.
Which will be next Monday. This episode's going to count as this Monday.
Yeah, we're not fucking perfect. And we got to go to a post and after awards show party.
Yeah, we have an award show party. It's going to get pretty crazy.
I heard
that.
I'm hearing Tiny Scones is already drunk back there.
What? Well, yeah, that's because all he needs is like a half of a nip to be like dead.
That dude knows how to party.
That guy knows how to party. Little Tiny Scones. All right. Have a good Monday.
Have a good
and
Monday.
Halloween and season 1. Boy.